Sorry about that. So, this episode is going to be amazing. I don't know if you realize, but we have two of the heaviest hitters in the conversation opening. It is amazing to be able to react to this content. I think that a lot of your minds are going to be blown. Your thought process might be rearranged a bit. I think that you might be questioning a lot of different things after this conversation. It's just important with any conversation, if you want to progress and have like forward progression and movement, that you open up your mind and you say, hey, I'm going to take in the information. I'm going to seek to understand before being understood, right? Don't jump to conclusions. Listen, all right? Just listen. Just listen. All right, so let's get into it.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to the pregame. Before I start, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell that we are going to be notified of my daily videos. Like the video on your way in. We have a special panel tonight. But before we get to that, a couple announcements before we start the show. The first is that we have two Clips channels, Just Pearly Clips and Pearl Daily. Make sure you go subscribe to both of those. Sign up for our membership.
Definitely do all the things she said.
Follow me on.
Go to her page, do all that subscription stuff for sure. Do it on ours as well too, please. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Really helps with the algorithm. You guys know how it works. I mean, we're going. It's like, we're in the future now, so you know what to do. But I am going to fast forward through all of her ads here because they're not paying me yet. So, here we go. Let's start here. Okay. Let's go.
Why don't we go around and have everyone on the panel introduce yourself. Say your name, your age, your relationship status, where you're from, and just a little bit about you. Why don't we start here?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Renner. I am 30 years old. I'm single as a Pringle. I have a 1.5-year-old son, and I'm here to learn something new today.
I'll help you with that. That's why they brought me.
Damn. Well, sir, they brought me here to look for trouble. It's Denalva the troublemaker. You thought she couldn't do it, but she did it. Here she is. I am freshly 30. I am single, not ready to mingle yet. And something interesting about me, well, I'm a smart woman. I'm here to
see to me, honestly, she's one of the most dangerous ones. You should watch this other Just Pearly Things that she put out. Oh my God, she said that she would have a kid by herself with no dude, even from the beginning as a thought. And she did not even think that to be selfish in any way. I was blown away by that. So Denelva, come on, girl. You come for everybody. You can come for L.T.A.M. too. Come on. Come for us. Come for us. Families and kids are important. Your Range Rovers and nails and ish. Who cares about that? Because you're going to get old and haggard anyway. So, whatevers. Let's keep going.
Mr. Tate can learn something from me.
Oh.
Sagittarius, relax, please. Be nice. Come on, I wasn't rude.
Andrew Tate, 36 years old. I cannot disclose personal information because, of course, my enemies are after me. But, yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always am. Perhaps somebody will say something remotely insightful, but at least I get a clementine if not. So I'm chilling with my orange.
And it's your girl, Esther, the Nigerian queen. I'm here to entertain, to disagree with somebody in here.
Oh, Auntie, she's looking at you.
Really, I am looking at somebody.
It's her favorite duo. It's her favorite duo.
But no, for real though, I'm just here to have a good time. Just, get some vibes. And in terms of my relationship status, I am single, doing interviews. I'm not just going for anybody. But yeah, that's how it is.
Auntie Jenny here, 54. I'm here to cut out the bullshit. Simple.
I like that.
Okay.
Yo, shout out to Auntie Jenny. She responded to me on Christmas on the Instagrams. By the way, make sure you follow us at L.T.A.M. now, right? At L.T.A.M. now on Instagram. But yeah, she's awesome. I don't remember exactly what it said. It said something to the effect of like season's greeting from my man's kitchen. I was like, respect, Auntie Jenny. MGTOW.com. Let's go.
I like that.
Thank you guys.
I bet
all
you
for-
do.
Yeah, well, you have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
And they're not direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Absolutely.
Why are you
Don't be
being
gay.
mean
Don't be gay.
already?
I don't really
Say
care.
it.
If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it.
So
'Cause if
basically,
I've got
I'll
something
say
to
it.
say,
I already got my
just say
teammate.
it. Just say it.
100%.
Hey, Auntie, I
Yeah.
beg, give the girl a chance to speak now and relax.
What girl?
Hey,
What have I said?
this one.
What have I said?
I'm addressing the elephant in
What
the
have I
room,
said?
innit?
Listen, I don't believe in no elephants in the
get
room.
yourself
If
up,
there's something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. If you got something to say to me, I am here. Talk to my face. There should be no elephant in the room because this ain't no zoo. You understand? So if you got something to say, just say it. We're all
Me?
big. No, I'm just saying. We're just all big people here. So if I want
Okay.
to say something to you, I'm going to say something to you straight like I normally do.
Yes.
If I got something to say to Esther, I'm going to tell Esther. Whether she likes it or not, I don't really care. Andrew Tate, my son's older than him, so I don't give a damn who he is. I'm going to just say what I
I
got to
respect
say.
your elders,
So
you know
whoever
what I'm
don't like it, that's tough. Don't come.
You missed out Brittany. I feel picked on.
Okay, so
And Brittany too, right? Even Pearl too. Feel better now.
yeah, Auntie gave me Auntie was yelling at me in wife school the other day, so she doesn't give a shit. Okay, so my first question is, what is the number one problem facing men today, and what is the number one problem facing women today?
I'm gonna say
Great question, Pearl.
something.
Come on,
Because
ladies.
everybody's
Everybody's
got
here to
some-
educate.
You know,
me.
the number
Sit
one
here and
problem.
fucking answer all the questions. Come on, tell
The
me.
number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
Ooh.
That's a good paradigm to start from, because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
what? It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. Because it is, because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves. And a woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat and is funny and good looking.
I used to take for granted being 6 foot. Holy cow. I mean, that's a blessing to be 6 foot. You know, if you're like 5'5", what can you do about it? It's not like, it's not like you can go work out harder and get taller, right? Man, I'm grateful. 6 foot. Be grateful for what you got, guys.
Looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never going to have, and it's becoming harder and harder. And you end up with people, top G's, who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing. And there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
What about them?
Well,
Should I say what the problem
I
with
would
women
say
is? I'll tell you.
Well, everybody's got a chance to talk.
I'm gonna shut up and have my clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel
Yeah, do you kind of notice, just from his demeanor, how he's able to just like carry himself with confidence, how naturally in line everybody's kind of falling, right? Falling. Like, Denelva wants to learn from the top G, right? Andrew. The truth is that just think about that, guys. Confidence, right? All that comes through actually achieving things. Small, big, large, but just continuously achieving things. Because it's not all about the ladies either. We got stuff to do ourselves. one thing we can all do is go to the gym. Dude's in decent shape. He's in really good shape. You don't think that's helpful? If he was on that couch 300 pounds, he probably wouldn't even be on the couch. So I guess we could all start there. Let's go.
I feel like it's self-accountability.
Women are not accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why
0%.
just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
Yeah,
both.
It is
definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, et cetera, is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think, I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing.
No, because don't
Ever.
forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about.
It's true. Like, I've never heard a girl break up with somebody and be like, it was my fault. I need to be better. I need to change something. They always go straight to the exterior in terms of, like, you know, looking hotter or something like that, but they never go deeper than that. What are your thoughts on that? Comments in the bottom. Comment. Let's see what they got. Yeah, I just think it's weird. Like, it's strange that we live in a world where we don't have accountability for ourselves, but more importantly, we don't have accountability for each other. That's why the conversation's big. Back in the day, we used to get, you know, if you're around the fire in your community, you know, your little village, and one person got out of line, you don't think that the other people were going to say something? Of course they were. Of course they were. But yo, little Susie, stop being a 304 in here, okay? Okay? That's the kind of stuff that happens. But we don't do that anymore. Because we got to make sure we don't hurt their feelings. But, as you can see, Mr. Tate has said, I mean, men's feelings are discarded all the time. We're not here to complain about it. Listen, we don't walk around saying, you're short shaming me. You're saying I'm broke. Oh, you're no, we don't do that. We don't have like full-on marketing campaigns that are ran by media and other different things backing these ideas. What we are doing though is we know when to say enough is enough and we become leaders again. So, yeah. It all comes with self-accountability first, then you can hold others accountable. Let's go.
Body positivity.
Are you
They
saying-
can look sexy at a size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna lie. I don't agree with what you just said because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change. They're not.
Yo, did you hear what that chick just said? Her version of changing was, let's go get plastic surgery. What? That is your solution to change? I don't know if you guys out there is my brain feels like it's gonna explode thinking about something like that. And look at the sincerity in her face. Look at her face. But, you know, it's like, come on. It's absurd. I'm gonna change, so I'm gonna go get a breast lift? What? I'm gonna go get Botox. Oh my God, I've changed so much. I've been healing. I've been healing from all the plastic surgery. Oh, let's go.
themselves. They think that because they're a man, you're gonna be attracted to them. No, like you can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not gonna want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point, and
Guys,
then she won't, and society.
We gotta take accountability too, so that we can just shut it all up. Because think about if we all got in shape, we all started working hard, we all became our best potential value that we can be. What do they have to say then? And the truth is this: it's not a us versus them thing. There are things that ladies do way better than us guys, all day. But in that same rational, logical ideal, there are men that do things way better than women. And it's supposed to be that way. When you start messing with these big forces like this, with the simple minds that we have, you don't even know what you're messing up out there. We are running into a time right now that is very interesting. This conversation that we're having is needed now more than ever. So make sure that you talk about these things with more people, right? We can't just watch it on the internet and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so, whoa. We actually have to say something. Ideas, free speech, right? Very important. Very important. Let's go.
It will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing. Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not happy to change. No, they're not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man will most, if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make something, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh,
Auntie.
it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves. You can't turn around. What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation, and can't sit on a plane because her ass has been injected or been interfered with? She's got to lie there on her stomach. Do you think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house, she's got to put on... I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman. Ooh. And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
The scars,
by the time you
catfish.
take everything off, women need to change their attitudes before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women will go out there and they would want to change this, they want to change that. All the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand. Learn to please a man.
That is so outdated,
that's what you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
She said, girl.
That's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys picked me up from the airport when we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as well.
No, but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to, oh, wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a street interview and I asked the guys, would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook? And most guys
want this.
But I think that's
for
more,
the quick satisfaction.
But I think that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm trying to say is that if all the women out there and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down. They want a man, right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can suck head just as good as any old tramp on the street. And keep your man and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't say attraction's not important though. You can't say attraction is not important though.
It is important.
For you to get initially, exactly. A man is not gonna find you attractive and then think, oh, because you can cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's gonna
especially a man
find you
that's got money.
attractive, and he's
Okay,
gonna.
let's ask Andrew.
He's gonna.
Andre,
a man's
would
gonna-
you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, well, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook because I'm top G. But to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster, because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong, because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better job. It's why I want more money. It's why I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Without
That's what men
complaining.
want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean, no, let's be serious about this.
Have you had the Gok 3000?
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted.
Same. Disgusting. You think that's hot shit when you're like, yeah, I'm so good at that. Like, yo, I want to hear that, like, you've never done it before. That'd be best case scenario. Jeez Louise.
I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say something?
I don't want to hear that shit. What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about sucking dick.
Dude, he's killing it with the status thing, right? So at the end of the day, it's like, listen, you want to show your man love, then show him respect and build his status. What a great analogy he made, right? Like, imagine coming into your house with all your boys and like, yeah. And you sit down, your girl comes out, she's like, hey, honey, hey, guys, how's it going? Would you guys like some pancakes? Like, hell yeah, let me get some pancakes.
Can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly. And that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Sagittarius, spoken like a true one. That is true.
My
It's a
man's
Clementine.
my
It's a
man's a
Clementine.
Sagittarius.
Keeps you
Listen,
hyped.
well,
My man's a Sagittarius.
so basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker of between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
It's
is
always been that way.
yeah, but then
There's things called hierarchies, right? That's how it works. That's why you gotta kind of know your place. Like in the sexual marketplace, right? A chick that is a, on the looks end, could be a 3.5. And she can get it with a 10. Like a 10. He's having a bad night, it's 3 a.m. He's like, you know what? I'm looking for something weird and different tonight. Let's do this. He gets it done, and then they believe that 3.5 thinks they're like, I'm a 7.5 now. I'm an 8. You gotta know your place. You're not like, if you want like a relationship, you can't think like that. Just like a guy can't walk in and be like, I'm a billionaire and have $5,000 in his bank account. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Let's make sense out there, please. Can we do that? Let's make a little sense.
Think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try and make it about men and women, is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women because
they're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious, he came back with honor, he got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you'd go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here, and I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent.
True.
If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. True. So it's hard out
Balance.
It's
I love it.
See, you got to have those conversations on both ways. You can't just shame, blame, and defame, right? You actually got to talk about the things and live in reality. Let's make sense, please.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people are always going for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9-to-5 person that's going to look after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is it really rushing? I've got a man. We don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pearl, I want no night about social media.
Yeah, that's a crazy thought process, isn't it? Like, why is it that women's standard of a man is so high? You know, one of the things that they talk about, or there's a study show, is that, you know, women want a man that's over 6 foot. Women want a man that makes 6 figures. Women want a man with a 6-pack. Women want a man with over 6 inches. And the truth is, men over 6 feet, that's only 15% of all men. So that's why I'm so blessed to be over 6 feet, yes. And I'm really sorry for the rest of you guys, because that's a tough one. If we're being honest, like, you can't do much about that. And bros, don't worry, there's other things you can do, right? Like me, I don't have a 6-pack right now. I'm gonna handle that, right? And then you gotta think really hard. Like, these standards are pretty high. So if 100% of you women are going for 15% of the men, and we're just talking height right now. We're not even talking about income. We're not talking about any status. We're not talking about any of that stuff. That means 100% of y'all are going for 15% of us. Okay. Just doesn't make sense, does it? And there's definitely some dudes out there that would do all the things that you would love in your life. But the only difference is they're not 6 foot. Well, did you also know that the average income of a male in the United States is $41,000 to $51,000? Well, that's for sure not on any chick's list I've ever asked of what they see their life to be like. I think y'all are more, turned on by the potential lifestyle than a life with men, your children, your families. There's joy, way more joy inside the children, families, raising a family than money. I think that once you establish that, you can actually join forces for real, right? And create something that is even more than you could imagine. But it really takes self-accountability, right? On both ends. Guys, get out there, start working out. By subscribing, following, and commenting on that stuff on L.T.A.M, we're actually going to create something where we can get together and we can make this happen together. But it needs to start with yourself. I can't make you walk. I can't make anybody walk. I can only make myself walk. So we got to do that kind of stuff. And if we expect other people to be inspired and to make changes within themselves, we have to model that behavior. So once again, just do your best and forget the rest, y'all. Because men are on the rise right now. And the truth is, we're going to continue the conversation.